Live stream here on YouTube. Sports Bonanza John on Kick at Sports Kick John. First time doing a WNBA stream. Going to give this a whirl tonight, see how this goes. Phoenix and Indiana in a rematch from a game on Monday, which was won by the Fever. Mercury looked to return the favor in this one. Game preview coming up in momentarily. First of all, let's pray. Lord Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for looking over us, Lord, and please protect these players alike. I know the nerves are still high, so please protect everyone involved, players, fans, coaches. Just please protect everyone and continue to do your will among all of us, Lord, as we ask and pray this in your mighty name. Amen. Mercury and the Fever. Fever winning on Monday over the Mercury. Fever come into this game 10-7 on the season. Mercury coming in 5-13. It's been a struggle of a year for the Phoenix Mercury. They look to get things righted here going into the All-Star break. These two teams got a little heated in the fourth quarter in this game the other night. 6 technical fouls in the fourth quarter, and we had 1 ejection. So with the nerves high on Monday night, teams need to keep their emotions a little bit down in this game. Before we get into this, let's take a look at the current standings in the WNBA. WNBA with 15 teams, thanks to the 2 expansion teams that came in this season. And taking a look at the standings, Minnesota leading the way at 13-4. Top 8 teams in the WNBA qualify for the playoffs. It doesn't matter Eastern Conference, Western Conference. They're just seeded top 8, 1 through 8 accordingly. That's how every sport should do it as far as I'm concerned. Minnesota, Atlanta at number 2. Aces come in 3rd. This Indiana Fever team tied with Golden State in 6th in the WNBA right now. Phoenix well down there at 5-13. Looking to right the ship here as Phoenix has lost 8 of their last 9 coming into this game. I beg your pardon, 7 of their last 8, excuse me. As Indiana looks for win number 11, which would tie Dallas in the WNBA standings as we get ready for this game tonight, Mercury and the Fever. Again, a rematch game from Monday, which was won by Indiana. Go ahead and see if we can get you tonight's starting lineups. Sorry about that. Having an issue with my... So the starting lineups are lining up this way. At least I hope this now, because this is how I've got it here. First, for the visiting Phoenix Mercury, again 5-13 on the season coming in. They're going to line up this way at forward. Nomi Brochant going in at 1 forward, 6.1 points per game on the season. The other forward for the Mercury is Alyssa Thomas, second leading scorer on this Mercury team, 14.1 points per game. In the middle for Phoenix will be Natasha Mack, averaging just shy of double digits a game at 9.2 points per game. At 1 guard for Phoenix is Lexi Held, 7.3 points per game on the season. This just her 10th game of the season. And the other guard for Phoenix, Kaylee Copper, leading scorer on this Mercury team, 19.2 points per game. for Phoenix. She will definitely have to be. We may not be able to totally contain her, but Indiana's going to have to try and shut her down tonight. Nate Tibbetts, the head coach of the Phoenix Mercury. Taking a look at the lineups tonight for the 10-7 Indiana Fever. They line up like this. Up front for Indiana will be Lexi Hull at one forward, averaging 5.5 points per contest. The other forward for Indiana, Monique Billings, 6.2 points per game. In the middle, of course, Aaliyah Boston, 16.6 points per game this year. At one guard for the Fever will be Kelsey Mitchell, one of the two over 20-point per game scorers on the Fever, 20.9 points a game. And, of course, the other guard is Caitlin Clark, Fever leading scorer, 21.3 points per contest on an Indiana team that averages 92 points a game. Phoenix coming in averaging 10 points less than that at 82 points per game. Fever coached by Stephanie White, her second go-around as head coach of the Indiana Fever. So here we go, the Mercury and the Fever, round two, as they met back on Monday night. Of course, the 6 technical fouls that were assessed in that game on Monday. Maisha Hines-Allen was tossed from that game as she picked up 2 technical fouls. Now, Caitlin Clark, this is something to keep in mind. Caitlin Clark has been called for 5 technical fouls this season. She was called for 1 in the game the other night. If you get to 8 technical fouls in a game, or 8 technical fouls in a season, that gets you on the bench for 1 game. So Clark at 5, she's going to have to keep her emotions down a little bit. She does not want to get that 8th technical foul and have to have that mandatory 1-game seat on the bench. Fever did announce today that they are appealing that technical foul she received on Monday for what they say is clapping, but that's one of those rules that they've kind of buckled down on. You clap like that, it's basically showing up the official, so they've really buckled down on that. So I very highly doubt that technical is going to get rescinded, but we'll see what the league decides on that. We are just about set. If any of you are into this kind of thing, Indiana opens minus 8.5 with an over-under of 175.5. These two teams will meet one more time just after the 4th of July on July 9th. That time will be out in Phoenix. Fever winning on Monday, 86-77. A lot of players appearing on the injury report for the Phoenix Mercury. I said Natasha Mack in the start. She's actually out tonight with a foot injury, so my mistake on that on Natasha Mack. I was just kind of, I didn't have a screen that showed the official starting lineup, so I was just going with the probable. So I think I said Natasha Mack, but she is out tonight with a foot injury. Monique Akoa-Makani also out with a hamstring injury. Sammy Whitcomb out with a knee injury. Shea Kizik and Novana Jogic out tonight as well. Dewana Bonner is going to get the start for Phoenix, not Natasha Mack. Fever have just 2 players on the injury, and that's not in the injury report. They're just out tonight, Justin Passat and Bree Hall. So here we go, Mercury and the Fever for the second time in 3 nights. Officiating crew tonight, Angelica Suffren, Gina Cross, and Teresa Stuck. Gainbridge Fieldhouse rocking as usual. Indiana really loves this Indiana Fever team. Again, coming in tonight, 6th in the WNBA standings. Top 8 qualify for the postseason. And here we go. And we are underway, and Indiana controls the opening tip. First possession of the game for the Fever. Clark with it, and there's an immediate turnover on the opening possession of the game. Phoenix back the other way for their first possession. That is one bugaboo that the Fever have had this year is turnovers. The turnaround jumper off the mark from Alyssa Thomas, and the rebound pulled down by Indiana. Here's Clark. Caitlin Clark with it on the outside, gives it off to Boston. Boston off, and a right side three-pointer is up and good by Kelsey Mitchell to start the scoring tonight for Indiana. 3-0. Alyssa Thomas on the outside, gives it off now to Bonner. Working it around the perimeter. Nice pass inside, can't convert the layup, but a foul is called. And Phoenix will head to the line to shoot 2. First foul of the game on the Fever. It's against Aaliyah Boston. And the Mercury will be at the line to shoot 2. Kaylee Copper at the line. First is good. I do want to point out something. If you're not a regular viewer on my live stream channel, I try to point this out every game. The line score on the screen is going to be a little bit ahead of where I am in the game due to this YouTube TV delay that they have built in automatically. So the score is not always going to match where I am. I am going to be a little behind. 2 free throws for Copper makes it 3-2. Up and under move, no good on the shot for Indiana, and back come the Fever with DeWanna Bonner bringing it up the floor. Bonner tries a deep three-pointer that's airmailed and out of bounds. Ball will go back to Indiana. Fever bring it up the floor. Here's Clark. Nice pass inside, and the finish. A great feed inside to Kelsey Mitchell, who's got all 5 for the Fever as they lead 5-2. Alyssa Thomas with it now for Phoenix as she gets it inside. The pass inside to Bonner. Bonner guarded nicely inside, gives it back out to Thomas. Back to Bonner. Bonner over to Thomas. Thomas from the foul line up, jumper up and good for Alyssa Thomas for her first 2 points. And that is Phoenix's first field goal. 5-4, Indiana just over 2 minutes in. Aaliyah Boston with it. Here's Clark for a 3. She's fouled on a 3-point shot. Shot does not go, but Caitlin Clark will have 3 free throws for the Fever. Foul is charged to Lexi Held. And 3 free throws coming for Caitlin Clark. First one was good. Second is also good. Caitlin Clark just shy of 21.5 points per game on average this year. 84.5% free throw shooter, hits all 3. 8-4, Indiana in front. Up the floor come the Mercury. Nice drive inside and taking it all the way is Kaylee Copper for the finish. That's 4 for Copper, and it's 8-6. Lexi Hull with it. On the outside, here's Clark. Getting cut off, and now we'll reset. Clark almost lost the dribble, but maintains it. And now Clark drives inside off the glass, shot altered, and back come the Phoenix Mercury with the rebound. And a three-point shot on the way is good. Nomi Brochant with a three-pointer, and Phoenix has their first lead at 9-8. 7 to go first quarter. Pass goes inside to Boston off the glass, and a great pass inside to find Aaliyah Boston. That's her first 2 points, and just like that, the Fever go back in front, 10-9. But a nice pass at the other end, and the reverse layup goes down. So a fast-paced offensive pace here as it's turned out. Clark hits a three at the other end. That's 6 points for Caitlin Clark, and it's 13-11. Back the other way come the Mercury. This is Lexi Held. She'll try a three, and she hits it. Lexi Held in the scoring column. 14-13 Phoenix. Clark the distance at the other end. And that's 8 points for Clark early on. 15-14. Bounce pass. Held goes behind the back to Bonner. Bonner looking. Bonner drives. Bonner cut off. Shot no. Rebound to Indiana. And here's another three-point shot. That's up and good. Kelsey Mitchell with 8. 18-14. Thomas. Out to Held. Held's jumper too strong. Rebound Indiana. And Caitlin Clark with it as she brings it back up the floor. Clark pulls up for three. Good. That's 11 for Clark, and that leads to a Phoenix timeout. Fever by 7 as they are 4 for 4 from three-point range to start this game. Caitlin Clark with 11 early, and it's 21-14 Indiana. 5:09 to go first quarter. Boy, the Fever, 7 of 9 from the floor, 4 for 4 from three-point range. Phoenix, 5 of 9 from the floor here early. Other games in the WNBA tonight. Minnesota and Washington are underway. Minnesota has a 1-point lead. 3:22 to go first quarter. Later on, coming up at the top of the hour in Chicago, Chicago hosts Portland. And later on, Atlanta is out west to take on Golden State. Here it is 21-14 Indiana as they are red hot as they're 7 of their first 9 from the floor. So out of the timeout, Phoenix will have it. Down 7. Well, Caitlin Clark's come to play on offense tonight. 11 points already in the game's first 5 minutes. Phoenix to bring it in out of the timeout. Phoenix needs a basket here this trip. Phoenix turned it. Clark misses a 3. I don't know if I lost the feed there for a moment there. Phoenix gets an easy layup. I don't know if Phoenix turned what exactly happened there, how Indiana got the ball. I lost the feed on my TV for about 3-4 seconds, but Phoenix gets a basket by Copper to make it 21-16. Here's Boston inside. Boston has it knocked away and stolen. Back come the Mercury the other way. This is Thomas, just inside the three-point arc. And the pull-up jumper is good. That's 4 straight out of the timeout. That's Brochant with her second field goal. 21-18, just like that. It's lead down to 3. Both teams hot shooting in this first quarter. Clark, bounce pass inside, and a near turnover. Here's a 3, around and out. But an offensive rebound and putback is good off the miss. Monique Billings with the basket. That's her first 2 points. 23-18, Indiana. There's Alyssa Thomas, and that's going to be an offensive foul. That's a push-off with the arm. More times than not, if you push off with the arm like that, that's going to be a charge every time. Whether Clark was set or not, Thomas threw that arm out. So that's the first on Alyssa Thomas. Fever with it. 3.5 to go opening quarter. This is Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell inside. Tries the bounce pass inside, but into traffic, and Phoenix takes it away. Here's Thomas on the fast break and lays it in. Alyssa Thomas. She's now got 6. 23-20. And we have a foul. This one's going to go against Kaylee Copper, I think. It'll be her first. Inbound it comes. Here's Clark. Clark drives. Clark outside, near turnover, but Clark retrieves it. Clark with a bounce pass inside, reverse layup up and in. 25-20. It's Monique Billings with the basket. That's her second field goal. It's pass inside at the other end is too far, and a Phoenix turnover. And now the officials get together and reverse it, saying it's off Indiana, so Phoenix will maintain possession. Good job by the officials there getting together, one seeing they had a better look. Phoenix nearly turns it over. Brochant turns and misses. Rebound, Indiana. Shot clock was running down there, so Phoenix had to throw up a shot. Clark, nice bounce pass again, and the finish for Kelsey Mitchell. That's 10 for Mitchell. 27-20. At the other end, Phoenix tries to answer, cannot, but they get the offensive rebound. And the move inside off the glass and in. That's a nice, strong move inside by Marta Suarez, who checked in at the timeout. She's got her first 2 points. Clark but that's not going to count as the Fever turn it over as Sophie Cunningham has checked into the lineup. Clark and Mitchell have combined for 21 of Indiana's 27 first quarter points. 2 to go, first quarter, as the Mercury bring it up. This is Alyssa Thomas bringing it up across the timeline. And we've got a foul called as the pass went inside, and this will be 2 free throws for Kaylee Copper. Foul's on Raven Johnson. That'll be her first. And Copper at the line for 2. First free throw's good. One more coming for Kaylee Copper. Eventually. Oh, didn't have the right alignment on the free throw line. Now we're set. Copper's second free throw is good. 27-24. Indiana's lead is 3. 1:45 to go opening quarter. Johnson. Pass inside, and we've got a foul. Believe that foul is going to go against Marta Suarez. So Indiana will bring it in. Here's Clark. Clark looking to drive. Now Will against Hill, but passes out to Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham hits a 3. 30-24. Cunningham was the offensive hero for the Fever about a week and a half ago in their comeback win over Connecticut. Good defensive stand here, and Clark has a breakaway layup. 32-24. Indiana's 8-point lead is their largest of the game so far. Here's Alyssa Thomas back the other way for Phoenix. Thomas kicks it out for a wide open 3 at the top of the key. That is good. Ayayi with a 3. 32-27 in a very high-scoring first quarter. Totally different from the game on Monday night where the Fever had just 6 points in the first quarter. Boston missed it. Boston gets her own rebound, scores, counted, and 1. Aaliyah Boston staying with it, gets the basket and the and 1 opportunity. Ayayi with the foul, and Boston will try to complete the 3-point play. I beg your pardon. Excuse me. This is Maisha Hines-Allen. Excuse me. Not Boston. Three-point play is good. 35-27, 40 seconds to play first quarter. Fever on pace for 140 points in this game. Here's Held. Held sends it outside. And the drive, lost it momentarily. Shot won't go. Rebound Indiana. Here's Cunningham up the floor. About a 4-second difference. Shot clock, game clock. And the Fever will slow it down with Kelsey Mitchell on the outside. Mitchell off to Cunningham. Cunningham looking for help, gets it over to Hines-Allen. Hines-Allen drives, pass knocked out of bounds by Phoenix. It will be Indiana ball. Shot clock is showing 0, but there should be at least about a second and a half, I think. Well, it's giving the ball to Phoenix here. Final shot of the quarters, up and good by Ayayi, and that beat the buzzer. And it's 35-29 after one. A very high scoring first quarter. 64 combined points between the teams in the first 10 minutes, but after one, it's the Fever 35 and the Mercury 29. Very good offensive numbers on both sides. Phoenix 11 of 20 from the floor for 55%. They're 3 of 5 from three-point range at 60%. Perfect 4 for 4 at the free throw line. Fever 13 of 18, 72% shooting in that first quarter. 5 of 7 from 3 at 71%. They were also a perfect 4 for 4 at the free throw line. Indiana, though, it's been a little bit of their bugaboo all season long, and in that first quarter, it kind of got them again. 5 first quarter turnovers. They average about 15 a game. Phoenix only turned it over once in that first quarter. Kaylee Copper leads the way for Phoenix after that first quarter. She's got 8 points. Alyssa Thomas with 6. 5 points apiece from Nomi Brochant and Valeriane Ayayi. I hope I'm getting that right. 3 points for Lexi Hild and 2 points for Marta Suarez. Fever's led by Caitlin Clark's 13 points in the first quarter. Kelsey Mitchell added 10. 4 points for Monique Billings, 3 apiece off the bench from Maisha Hines-Allen and Sophie Cunningham, and 2 points from Aaliyah Boston. As the Fever lead at 35-29 after one. Minnesota's taken a 5-point lead. Washington's taken a 5-point lead on Minnesota, 27-24. Second quarter score there. So a quarter in the books here as we get set for quarter number 2. As Phoenix will have the basketball to open the quarter. Another big crowd on hand at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, downtown Indianapolis. Caitlin Clark going to get a little bit of a breather here to begin the second quarter. 13-point first quarter for her. Here's Phoenix bringing up the ball here in the second quarter. Bonner with it on the outside. Now Bonner with it. Covered by Hines-Allen. Bonner, and they're going to have to get a shot off here. They will not. Shot clock violation against Phoenix. A good defensive stand by the Fever to open the second quarter. First possession, quarter number 2 for Indiana. Hines-Allen on the outside. Here's Boston. Boston draws a double team, puts it up off the glass. No on the offensive glass, and Ayayi comes down with this one for Phoenix. Here's Bonner. Ayayi, open three, no. Rebound, Aaliyah Boston. Shot up and in, and that's the first 2 points of the second quarter. They belong to Indiana, 37-29. And Bonner inside, no good. Blocking foul is called. DeWanna Bonner will be at the line to shoot 2. Foul is going to be on Kelsey Mitchell, and that will send Bonner to the line for Phoenix. I beg your pardon, Copper at the free throw line. Numbers are kind of hard to see with the hair pulled back. It's covering the numbers, so it's kind of hard for me to make out the numbers out there. Copper hits the first free throw. Second is good, so she's in double figures with 10, 37-31. Fever have it here. Here's Cunningham with another 3. This one's no good. Rebound pulled down by Phoenix. And this is Thomas bringing the ball up the floor. 3-point shot up and good. Kaylee Copper now with 13 as she hits the 3. Boston inside. Boston fouled on the way up. She will head to the line to shoot 2. Foul's going to be on DeWanna Bonner. Aaliyah Boston heads to the free throw line with 7:57 to go in the second quarter. Nate Tibbetts a little frustrated there on the Phoenix sideline. First free throw good. Neither team's missed a free throw yet in this game. Two free throws for Boston. 39-34. And a foul as Caitlin Clark is back into the game, and as she comes into the game, she commits a foul. Here's Thomas. Thomas on the drive. Thomas off the glass. Good. Alyssa Thomas now has 8. 39-36. Lead back down to 3 for Indiana. At the other end, shot no, out of bounds. Will stay Indiana as it's knocked out of bounds by Phoenix. Inbound here. Clark gives it inside, and the layup is good. Maisha Hines-Allen now with 5. And Phoenix gets a breakaway layup at the other end. 41-38. Clark slips. Clark gives it outside. Here's a 3. No. Rebound, Indiana. Caitlin Clark slow getting up, but she is able to get back up and get back down the floor. Ayayi has the ball kicked out of bounds. Clark is saying she was fouled at the other end, but no whistle came. I didn't see much there except two people going after the ball. 3-point shot on the way. No, off the back rim. Rebound. Phoenix tries to save it, but Indiana comes out with it. Mitchell to Cunningham. Clark for a deep three. That's no good. But for the second time in the game, she is fouled on a 3-point shot. And now two of the officials are over at the scores table discussing something. They are going to the monitor to review this. So we have our first review of the night. Oh, they're looking to see. Clark was clearly fouled on a 3, but they're looking to see if she may have thrown not a punch or an elbow, but if she may have made contact with Ayayi in the face. So they are reviewing for a possible flagrant 1 against Clark here. Officiating crew tonight, Angelica Suffren, Gina Cross, and Teresa Stuck. We're going to get the call right now. For obvious reasons, when I do a live stream, I have the sound down. Sometimes I'm good at reading lips. I believe they just said that was just there's no flagrant foul. It was just normal motion on the follow through. Which I think that is correct looking at the replay. Clark at the line for 3 free throws. Free throw good. Clark hits the first 2. And Clark hits all 3. 44-38. $6:15 to go, second quarter. Alyssa Thomas off to Bonner for 3. It's good. And the lead back to 3 again, 44-41. Here's Clark bringing it up across the timeline. Clark. Boston, here's Mitchell on the outside. Mitchell lost the dribble momentarily, but regroups. Back to Clark. 5 on the shot clock. Clark on the drive. Clark spins. Clark pull-up jumper short. Rebound Phoenix. Mercury can tie this game with a 3. They go inside. Great pass inside. Shot's no good. We have a foul. I believe this is before the shot. So it would not have counted anyway. That's the second foul on Caitlin Clark. And we have a timeout with 5:37 to go in the second quarter. Mercury battling back here as they pulled within 3, 44-41 of Indiana here in the second quarter. Shooting has cooled off here in the second quarter. We had 64 combined points in the first quarter. Through the first 4.5 minutes in the second quarter, just 21. Both teams are still in the high 50s, 58% for both teams. Exactly identical numbers in the shooting. Both teams 15 of 26. Both teams 5 of 9 from three-point range. The difference is the Fever's 3 more free throws. Neither team's missed a free throw. Fever 9 for 9. Mercury are 6 for 6. And that's the difference in the game right now. 44-41. Midway through the first quarter in Chicago, Portland and Chicago tied at 13. Still about a month away from the All-Star break. All-Star game happens July 25th. As I mentioned at the outset, Fever currently 6th in the WNBA standings. Top 8 go to the playoffs. Doesn't matter which conference, it's just the top 8 in order of record, which I think is a format they should use in every sport. Mercury well out of the playoff picture right now at 5-13. It's 44-41 Indiana, 5:37 to go, second quarter. Phoenix ball out of the timeout. There's Alyssa Thomas on the outside. Thomas spins, looking to drive, cannot. Kicks it out to Bonner. 5 on the shot clock for the Mercury. Here's Bonner. Bonner drives. Bonner lost the dribble. She's going to have to throw this up from three-point range. It's an air ball. Shot clock violation. Second shot clock violation against Phoenix in this game. Clark with it on the outside for the Fever. Clark. Pull-up jumper foul line, around and out. Rebound pulled down by Brochant. Here's Thomas. Outside. Here's Brochant. Drives, kicks it over to Bonner. Bonner inside, counted and one. And DeWanna Bonner with a chance to tie this game with a free throw. Foul is on Monique Billings. And DeWanna Bonner heads to the line to try to complete the three-point play. And it is good, and we are tied at 44 with 4:49 to go in the second quarter. Pull-up jumper, that's short. Rebound Phoenix. Mercury look for their first lead of the game. Thomas goes coast to coast and gives the Mercury the lead. 46-44. Timeout, Indiana. First lead of the game for Phoenix, 46-44. 4:34 to go in the second quarter. A nice answer for Phoenix after being down 9 earlier in this quarter. Outscored the Fever 17-9 in the second quarter so far, and have taken a 2-point lead. Coming up at the half, we will run down the WNBA scoreboard and give you an update on All-Star fan voting, with the All-Star game about a month away. Happens July 25th. And run down action from the sports world, run down the scoreboard in the World Cup. All-Star game this year will be at the United Center in Chicago on July 25th. Once the All-Star game hits, there's only going to be about a month left in the regular season following the All-Star break. 46-44. Mercury have taken the lead here by 2 with 4:34 remaining in quarter number 2. Fever, after a 35-point first quarter, have been held to 9 here in the second. And outscored 17-9 in the quarter. Shooting's down to 54%. Fever were at 72 after the first quarter. Following the timeout, it's going to be Indiana ball. Here's Clark. Clark is going to be fouled. Didn't see who that foul was on. Fever inbound. Mitchell over to Clark. Clark, nice pass inside, and the finish. And that will tie the game at 46. Aaliyah Boston with that basket for the Fever. She's now got 8. Here's Thomas on the outside for Phoenix. Ayayi for 3. Back rim, no. Offensive rebound for the Mercury. 1 against 2 going up strong. No good, but a foul is called. Boy, what a strong move that was. One against 2, able to get the offensive rebound and get fouled, and Kaylee Copper heads to the line. She's got 11 points in this first half. And make it 12 as she hits the first free throw. Phoenix back in front. 3:51 to go second quarter, and also the Fever over the limit. Mercury are going to be at the free throw line for the remainder of the quarter as Copper hits 2 free throws. 48-46 Phoenix. Fever bringing up the floor. Here's Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell off to Hines Allen. Hines Allen goes inside. Nice pass inside, but an even better defensive play. Cunningham airmails the pass into the third row and out of bounds to Phoenix. Cunningham trying to say she was fouled, but to no avail. First turnover of the second quarter for the Fever. They've now got 6 in the game. Thomas brings it up the floor for Phoenix. Into the corner. Bonner hits a 3. DeWanna Bonner with 11, and it's 51-46 Phoenix. And on the drive, we have another Mercury foul. That'll be their 4th of the quarter. Mercury have placed 3 players in double figures in this first half. They're getting some nice balance, and they're on a 13-2 spurt right now. Clark on the drive, spins. Clark has it taken away by Bonner. Ayayi with it for Phoenix. Back to Bonner. Bonner on the drive. Bonner up, no. Missed the layup. Rebound, Aaliyah Boston. Back out to Clark. Clark finds Lexi Hull. Hull's jumper good. That's the first field goal of the game for Lexi Hull. Makes it 51-48. 2:40 and counting to go second quarter. Phoenix turns it over. And back comes Indiana. Clark inside for the layup. It's good. And it's 51-50. Clark with the feed to Aaliyah Boston. And that's 4 quick ones for Indiana. Alyssa Thomas at the other end for Phoenix. She's going to get the roll. That gives her 12. 53-50. Boston to Hull. Hull out to Clark. And another bad pass and another Indiana turnover. And Phoenix will give it right back. Well, although the officials are saying it was knocked out of bounds off Indiana, Kelsey Mitchell's calling for a review. She's adamant that that's off Phoenix. Let's see. Mitchell knocks it out right there. And I don't see where anybody else touched it. Indiana's not going to review this, it doesn't look like, and it's probably wise because I don't see where it hit a Phoenix player after Mitchell knocked it out. Phoenix inbound. Pull-up jumper too strong. Rebound Aaliyah Boston. And that's a kick ball. It will stay with the Fever with 1:40 to go second quarter. Hines Allen. Lexi Hull gets it inside, scores. Lexi Hull gets the 2 points. She's got 4 now. 53-52. And that's knocked out of bounds. It will stay Phoenix ball. 13 on the shot clock. 1:15 remaining in the second quarter. In it comes to Alyssa Thomas. Borchamp with a bad pass inside, and the Fever look to retake the lead. 1 minute to play, second quarter. Here's Boston. Aaliyah Boston over to Hines Allen. Hines Allen finds Kelsey Mitchell for 3. Good. Kelsey Mitchell gives the Fever the lead back. 55-53. 13 in the half for Kelsey Mitchell. And Thomas with a bad pass. Indiana takes it away. It's a 2-on-1, and the finish, but a blown layup. Boy, Indiana had an easy fast break layup, but missed it. Suarez loses it. That's another Phoenix turnover. They're now up to 6-5 here in the second quarter. Shot clock and game clock virtually identical, so the Fever can run this for the final shot of the half. Down to 8 seconds. Mitchell for three, short. Shot it a little early. Phoenix has a shot here with 1 second. Half court heave at the horn is short. And that's how this first half comes to a close. 55-53. Fever up 2 at the break over the Phoenix Mercury. Phoenix outscored Indiana in that second quarter 24-20 to make this a 2-point game at the half, 55-53. Indiana leading Phoenix. So a good one between these two teams. With the Fever leading it at the half, 55-53. Well, let's take a look at the rest of the WNBA scoreboard on this Wednesday evening. Of course, we've got this game here. They are at the half in Washington. The Lynx and the Mystics are all tied up 40-40 at the break. And end of the first quarter in Chicago, Sky lead the Fire 22-21. And coming up later, two of the top 4 teams in the WNBA, Dream and the Valkyries out there in California. Next games for these two teams. Phoenix heads up north of the border to Toronto to take on the Toronto Tempo. That game coming up on Saturday. Fever will host the Los Angeles Sparks. That game also coming up on Saturday. And of course, we have the championship game of the WNBA Commissioner's Cup. If you follow the NBA, it's similar to that NBA in-season tournament. That game coming up on Tuesday, Las Vegas and New York. Update the scoreboard from the FIFA World Cup today as we wrap up group play. Or we're wrapping up group play. Group play will come to a close this weekend on Saturday. Final scores from the World Cup in Group B, Bosnia, a 3-1 win over Qatar, however you pronounce that. Bosnia more than likely going to be the opponent of the United States in the knockout round. Also in Group B, Switzerland picks up a 2-1 win over Canada. That wins Group B for Switzerland. In Group C, Morocco, a 4-2 win over Haiti. And Brazil in Group C shuts out Scotland 3-0. Brazil wins Group C. 2 Group A games coming up in about 30 minutes, Czechia and Mexico, and South Africa and South Korea. The nightcap. And, of course, night 2 of the NBA draft is tonight. Of course, A.J. DeBonsa from BYU. Number 1 pick in the NBA last night. He is headed to the Washington Wizards. Round 2 in the NBA draft is currently underway. And, of course, the big news from the NBA prior to the NBA draft, the Bucks traded Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Miami Heat. So Giannis now a member of Miami. That's some action from other action around the sports world. And here it is 55-53 Indiana at the break. Again, let's run down, as we did at the beginning of the game, let's run down the WNBA standings as they stand right now. See Minnesota leading the way at 13-4. Minnesota tied with Washington tonight. Washington currently in that 8th and final playoff spot, top 8, qualify for the playoffs. This Indiana Fever team tied with Golden State for 6th right now. And you see this Phoenix team 5-13. Currently 4.5 games out of a playoff spot. Los Angeles right there, just a half game behind Washington. Los Angeles winning at the buzzer the other night against the Liberty in that 30-year WNBA anniversary game. So pretty tight there in the standings, with the All-Star game coming up in about a month. So that is where the standings are currently in the WNBA. It is 55-53 at the half. Indiana leading Phoenix. Fever looking to go 2-0 against the Mercury, with one more game to come in Phoenix, that coming up July the 9th. Let's run down some of the stats from the first half. But before we do that, let's tell you the current leading vote getters for the WNBA All-Star Game. This is after the second returns have come in. Aaliyah Boston of this Fever team leading the way. Caitlin Clark is second. Coming in third in the All-Star voting is Asia Wilson from the Las Vegas Aces, followed by Paige Beckers. Brianna Stewart rounds out the top 5, the rest of the top 10 in the All-Star van voting. Jessica Shepard of Dallas, Angel Reese, Gabby Williams, Kelsey Mitchell of this Indiana Fever team, and Olivia Miles round out the top 10 in the WNBA All-Star fan voting. So the Fever teammates, Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, leading the way so far in the WNBA fan voting. So 55-53 at the half. Fever lead the Phoenix Mercury. Let's run down the first half stats. Indiana in the first half, 20 of 35 for 57%, but they were at 72% after the first quarter. 6 of 11 from three-point range at 55%, perfect 9 of 9 at the free throw line. Phoenix shooting 54%, 19 of 35 from the floor. 6 of 13 from three-point range at 46%. They're also a perfect 9 of 9 at the free throw line. Neither team's missed a free throw yet in this game. Rebound edge, a slight one, 14-13 for Phoenix. Turnovers, 8 for the Fever in the first half, 6 for the Mercury. Fever amongst the tops in turnovers. They average about 15 turnovers a game. And they have 8 in the first half in this one. Cut it down that second quarter. They only committed 3 in that second quarter. They forced 5 Phoenix turnovers in that second quarter. So we are a few minutes away from beginning the second half between the Fever and the Mercury. Let's run down Major League Baseball scoreboard for you as we are, before we get set for the second half here. Marlins beat the Rangers earlier today, 4-2. Cubs and Mets play a doubleheader today. Cubs took the opener 10-3. Game 2 is tied at 4, bottom of the 5th inning. Cleveland picked up a 10-inning win over the White Sox today, 4-3. Rockies beat the Red Sox 8-6. 10-inning win for the Angels, 7-6 over the Orioles. Top of the 7th in St. Petersburg, Rays lead the Royals 5-2. Top of the 8th in Detroit, 4-2. Yankees lead the Tigers. Bottom 7 in Pittsburgh, Pirates lead the Mariners 5-1. Bottom of the 6th in the nation's capital, Nationals lead the Phillies 4-3. Top of the 6th in Toronto, 1-1, Astros and Blue Jays. Brewers 3, Reds 0, bottom of the 5th. Dodgers lead the Twins 4-3, top of the 4th. Also top of the 4th in St. Louis. Cardinals lead the Diamondbacks 1-0. Just underway in San Diego between the Braves and the Padres. Later on in the Bay Area, the A's and the Giants. 55-53 Fever in front of the Mercury as we will begin the second half here in just a matter of moments. WNBA leading Minnesota Lynx now trail Washington 47-42. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Portland leading Chicago 35-34. Four and a half to go second quarter in that one. Phoenix will inbound here to open half number 2. And here we go. Underway, second half. And a kick ball by Indiana will reset the shot clock to 14 for Phoenix. Alyssa Thomas. And here's the three-point shot. That is short. Rebound Indiana as Phoenix comes up empty on their first possession of the second half. Here's Clark. Dangerous pass to Mitchell. Goes inside to Aaliyah Boston, who scores off the glass. Aaliyah Boston with 12, 57-53. Underneath to a wide open Alyssa Thomas underneath the basket. Somebody fell asleep down there defensively for Indiana as Thomas was wide open underneath. 57-55, minute old, third quarter. Lexi Hull. Over to Caitlin Clark. Clark on the outside, now drives, gets cut off by Borchardt. Gives it off in the corner for 3. Air ball, rebound Phoenix. They can tie or take the lead. Shot inside, no good, but a foul is called as Kaylee Copper will head to the line to shoot 2. Two free throws coming for Copper. First is good. Second free throw on the way for Copper is good. The two teams are a combined 20 for 20 at the free throw line. We're tied at 57. 17 points in the game for Copper. And a long three-pointer up and good for Indiana. Kelsey Mitchell. 16 for Mitchell. 60-57. Pull-up jumper up and good. Lexi held now with 5, 60-59. Boston inside scores at the other end for Indiana. Aaliyah Boston with 14. 62-59. Here's Copper. Copper drives. Copper scores with the layup. 19 for Kaylee Copper. 62-61. Clark. Clark gets fouled on the outside. This one's going to go against Held. Be her second. Here's the drive thrown up, and that shot's no good, but another Phoenix foul, and this will result in 2 free throws. As Monique Billings will head to the line. First free throw, good. One more coming for Billings. It's good. 64-61. Indiana's lead is 3. Alyssa Thomas on the outside for Phoenix. Finds Bonner on the outside. Bonner goes inside to Copper. Copper off balance shot short. Rebound Indiana. That's a good defensive series that time for the Fever. Clark. Clark goes inside. And almost a tie up there, but the Fever reset. Here's Clark. Shot clock at 7. Clark on the outside. Off to Boston. Boston spins. Boston shot no good. And what do we got here? This DeWanna Bonner down on the court. But she does get up. I think they got a foul on Lexi Hull. It's her first. Mercury bringing it in as here's Held bringing it up the floor. Alyssa Thomas over to Copper. Kaylee Copper, that's going to be an offensive foul against Copper. Correction, they actually got Alyssa Thomas on that one, so that's her third. There's a turnover and a fast break layup for Nomi Brochant. That gives her 7. 64-63. 9th Indiana turnover. Clark. Clark for 3. Good. Caitlin Clark with 19. 67-63. Under 6 to go in the third. Bonner. Bonner drives. Bonner inside scores. That gives her 11. 13, excuse me. 67-65. And the Fever, well, is knocked out of bounds by Phoenix. So I was getting ready to say the Fever turned it over, but it was knocked out of bounds. Fever to inbound under the basket. And it comes in a corner 3 is no good, but an offensive rebound for Indiana. Boston gives it off to Clark. Clark guarded by Held. Clark, bad pass taken away by Bonner. That's the 10th Indiana turnover. Layup good. Tie game at 67. Timeout. Mercury have tied it again. 67 apiece. 5:15 to play in the third quarter. Again, the turnover bugaboo hitting the Fever. As I've mentioned, this is a Fever team that turns it over about 15 times a game. They've turned it over 10 tonight. Mercury at 58% shooting. Fever 57%. Fever 53% from three. Mercury 43%. Neither team has still missed a free throw. Both teams 11 for 11 at the line. And we are all square at 67 apiece with 5:14 to play in the third quarter. So following the timeout, it's going to be Indiana ball. Now the timeout. Kelsey Mitchell brings it up the floor for Indiana. Nearing the midway point of the third quarter, Mitchell drives and scores. And the Fever have the lead back, 69-67. And the Mercury turn it over. Back come the Fever the other way. Boston inside scores. That's 4 straight for the Fever out of the timeout. 71-67. And that's almost another turnover, but they're going to get Aaliyah Boston for a reach-in foul. It's going to be her second. Mercury, bring it in. Bonner for three. No. Offensive rebound. Put back good and one. Ayayi with the bucket and a chance for a three-point play. Foul is on Sophie Cunningham. And Ayayi with a free throw to try to make it a one-point game. She does. 71-70. 4:20 to go in the third. And a three that is answered at the other end by Kelsey Mitchell. 21 for Mitchell. 74-70. 4 to go, third quarter. Held. Held drives. Held spins. Held misses. Offensive rebound, Alyssa Thomas. Over to Bonner. Back to Thomas. Thomas looking for help, now drives. Thomas spins. Thomas too hard off the glass. Rebound to Mitchell. Sophie Cunningham with it. Back to Mitchell. Cunningham in the corner. Cross-court pass to Boston. And a corner three, around and out. Rebound to Phoenix. Good ball movement that time for the Fever. They just couldn't finish. Thomas inside. Nice shot defense there by Hines Allen underneath to alter that shot. Mitchell a little out of control. She thought she was fouled, but again, no avail. Here's Ayayi. And she's fouled inside. And that will put the Fever over the limit. Foul is on. Folks, apologies. Lost the feed there momentarily, but looks like everything's back going again. 2 free throws make this a 2-point game, 74-72. Fever bring it up the floor with Mitchell. She's got it now on the outside. Mitchell drives. Mitchell finds Hines Allen. Hines Allen guarded by Suarez. Gets inside, counted, and one. Maisha Hines Allen with the basket and a chance for a three-point play. It's the free throw. 77-72. Pass inside to Thomas. Thomas is fouled and gets the bucket. She'll have a chance for a three-point play. Maisha Hines Allen on the foul. And Alyssa Thomas with 16 points trying to complete the three-point play. Missed it. That's the first miss by either team at the line in this game. 77-74. Bounce pass inside, and that basket will not count. We have a foul before the shot. Kelsey Mitchell at the line, both teams in the penalty. I beg your pardon. This is a one-shot technical foul. Free throw is good, and the Fever lead by 4 and have the ball. Sophie Cunningham with it. Here's Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell, floater inside is good. 24 for Kelsey Mitchell, 80-74. Fever by 6, 2 to go, third quarter. Ayayi on the outside tries a 3. That's way off the mark. Suarez with the strong rebound for the Mercury. Putback is good. Are they going to count that basket? Yes, they are. Suarez trying to complete a 3-point play. Foul number 3 on Aaliyah Boston. Suarez heads to the line. Aaliyah Boston expressing her displeasure with that call to one of the officials. Suarez missed the free throw. That's 2 straight misses at the line for Phoenix. And we're going to have another foul on the Fever, it looks like. This one's going to go against Monique Billings. That's going to be her third. First free throw here is good. Two free throws for Ayayi. That gives her 12 off the bench. And it's 80-78. And now we're going to have a foul on Suarez. That's going to be her third. So now it's officials are getting very strict on their foul calls right now. They don't want to have the same thing happen that happened on Monday night between these two teams in the fourth quarter. First free throw is good. Second is also good. 82-78. Nearing a minute and a half to go in the third. Here's Lexi Held. Off to Suarez for 3. Back rim, no. Rebound, Indiana. Here's Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell. Hines Allen with it. Back to Mitchell. Nice feed inside to Hines Allen for the layup. And the lead back to 6 for Indiana, 84-78. Final minute, third quarter. Ayayi, nice pass inside. Suarez scores. Suarez with 6. 84-80. High-scoring affair between these two teams. 86-77 was the final score between these two teams on Monday, and a foul on the drive by Hines Allen. Who'd they get there? They got Alyssa Thomas. That's going to be her 4th. So Alyssa Thomas with 4 fouls. First free throw, no good. That's the first miss at the line for Indiana tonight. Kelsey Mitchell going to get a breather here for the remainder of the third quarter as the second is good. First time we've seen Tyasha Harris in the game for the Fever. 85-80 Indiana. 35 seconds left in the third. Held tries a 3. Back rim, no. And she's fouled on a 3-point shot. That's the third time tonight we have seen a shooter fouled on a three-point attempt. Tyasha Harris gets called for it. So 3 free throws, 4 held. First is good. Second is no good. One more coming for Lexi Held. Got that one. 85-82. Final half minute of the third. Harris. Hines Allen with it on the outside. About a 9.5 second difference shot clock. Game clock. This is going to be an offensive foul on Sophie Cunningham as she pushed off underneath the basket. And this is a note worth mentioning. Caitlin Clark is going to be out for the remainder of this game with some kind of back injury. So the Fever will have to go the fourth quarter without Caitlin Clark. Final 10 seconds of the third. Thomas to Bonner. Bonner drives. Bonner, offensive foul against DeWanna Bonner. That'll be her third. With 4 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Yeah, it looked like a good call. And DeWanna Bonner better watch it here. She's the one that got into the tussle in the fourth quarter the other day. Phoenix teammates and the coaching staff better get her to the bench. 85-82. Timeout called here with 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. Officials are over at the monitor. Checking this last foul to see if anything needs to be upgraded. Officials are trying to get a handle on this because it's getting a little physical and a little chippy again. They don't want to have what happened in the fourth quarter the other night happen again. Fourth quarter of the game between these two teams on Monday night saw 6 technical fouls. Officials do not want to let that happen again. This is actually a Phoenix challenge on that last foul call. Official still over at the monitor looking. Going to look at this one more time. It's close. They called it a charge on Bonner Hines Allen was definitely outside the cylinder. She looked pretty set to me, but let's see if the officials see it otherwise. I think this call is going to stand, but oh, in the live chat, appreciate it. Yeah, this is a good one between these two teams. And now the three officials are talking amongst themselves. Slow Own, is that your name or name there in the live chat? Appreciate you tuning in. It's a light audience tonight. Appreciate you tuning in on. And now we're going to get the call. It is going to stand on a charge for Bonner. So that's going to stay her third foul. I thought Hines Allen looked pretty set, and she was clearly outside the cylinder. So this call's going to stand, and it's going to cost Phoenix a timeout. So with 4 seconds to go in the third, Fever will get the final shot of the quarter. Again, in case you missed the news, Caitlin Clark is out the rest of this game. So Fever will be out their leading scorer for the rest of this game in the fourth quarter. Fever bring it in. Get it into Mitchell. Mitchell, the heave, and the three-pointer is blocked as the third quarter expires. 3 quarters in the books at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Fever lead the Mercury 85-82. 10 minutes to play to decide this one. Taking a look at the stats through 3 quarters. Both teams still shooting very well in this game. Mercury 55%, 29 of 53. They have cooled down from three-point range. They're 6 for 17 from 3 at 35%. 18 of 21 at the free throw line for 86%. Fever shooting 59%, 30 of 51. They're 50% from three-point range, 9 of 18 and 16 of 17 at the free throw line. Outstanding free throw shooting, both these teams tonight. Slight rebound edge for Phoenix of 2, 22-20. 11 Fever turnovers, 9 for the Mercury. Yeah, Sloan. Yeah, Caitlin Clark, a back injury. So, yeah, she's going to miss the rest of this game. Don't know exactly the extent. That's the injury she had a couple, 2-3 weeks back when Coach White held her out of that one game. I don't remember who the opponent was now that caused that little bit of controversy. It was some kind of back injury in that game, too. Kelsey Mitchell leading the way tonight for Indiana with 24 points. Caitlin Clark has 19, but again, she's out the rest of this game. 16 for Aaliyah Boston and 11 for Maisha Hines Allen. 4 in double figures for the Fever tonight. 8 for Monique Billings. 4 out of Lexi Hull and 3 out of Sophie Cunningham. Phoenix also has 4 in double figures, led by Kaylee Coppers, 19 points. Alyssa Thomas with 16. Dewana Bonner with 13. And Valeriana Ayayi with 12. I hope I'm getting that pronunciation right. That's why I always try to look up the pronunciations before the game starts. That's one I missed. I need to make sure that's right. Lexi Held with 9. Nomi Brochant with 7. And Marta Suarez with 6. So we head to the fourth, 85-82. Indiana was up 6 after 1, 35-29. It was 55-53 Indiana at the half. They outscored Phoenix by a point in that third quarter to take a 3-point lead into the fourth. Portland, was it the Portland game? I knew there was that. She wasn't listed on the injury report, but then she was listed as out right before it was Portland. I couldn't remember who the opponent was, but I think you might have been that Portland game, yeah. Underway in the fourth. Here's Mitchell bringing the ball up for the Fever. Finds Lexi Hull. Hull for three. That's on target for Lexi Hull. She's now got 7. First 3 of the fourth quarter belong to the Fever, 88-82. Ayayi on the drive. Again, the Fever fall asleep underneath the basket, and Ayayi has the easy layup. She's got 14 off the bench for Phoenix tonight, 88-84. Here's Mitchell on the outside. 3 to shoot for the Fever. They're going to have to throw something up here. 3-pointer, no. And we have got a foul. This one's going to go on Lexi Hull on the loose ball foul. That's number 2 on Hull. First foul of the fourth quarter on Indiana. Mercury ball. Here's a 3 off the rim. No good. That would have cut it to 1. Rebound pulled down by Indiana. And here's Mitchell bringing it up the floor. Mitchell with it. Mitchell goes inside to Boston. Boston turns, but the shot will not count as Boston is called for a travel. Stephanie White not happy with that as she's expressing her displeasure with the officials, as is Boston. 12th Indiana turnover tonight. And now we've got a foul on Boston. That's going to be her 4th. Phoenix with the inbound. 8:30 to go. Ayayi, dangerous pass. Phoenix somehow gets to the loose ball. Here's Copper. Copper drives. Copper with the left hand. Counted and 1 for Kaylee Copper. And a chance to cut it to 1. Lexi Hull with her 3rd as she's picked up her 2nd foul in about a 30-second span. Kaylee Copper heading to the line to try to make this a 1-point game, and she does. 21 for Copper, 1 point, Indiana lead. Harris to Boston. To Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell on the outside. Mitchell over to Hines Allen. Missed a 3. Rebound Phoenix. The Mercury can take the lead for the first time in the second half with the basket. Ayayi to Copper. Bounce pass inside to Thomas. Ayayi inside. The off-balance jumper goes to give the Mercury the lead. 89-88, timeout, Indiana. Valeriana Ayayi, 16 points off the bench tonight for Phoenix. And she's given the Mercury a 1-point lead with 7:33 to play. I'll look this to make sure I'm pronouncing that name right. Valerie Ann Ayayi. Oh, okay. Ayayi. Okay. So Phoenix has grabbed the lead here with 7.5 to go in the fourth. Who will step up for the Fever here in the fourth with Caitlin Clark out the rest of this game? Kaylee Copper leading the way tonight for Phoenix with 22. Kelsey Mitchell leading the way for the Fever with 24. Update on those other WNBA scores. WNBA leading Lynx trailing Washington 71-70, 3.5 to go in that one. Chicago leads Portland 59-52, 4 minutes to go in the third. And coming up later, Atlanta and Golden State. Golden State currently tied with Indiana for 6th in the WNBA standings. So it will be Indiana ball out of the timeout. They're down to 2 timeouts. Phoenix still has 3 timeouts remaining. Fever ball. Here's Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell inside, goes back outside now to Boston. Boston looking for help, gets it to Hines Allen, back to Boston. Boston hits a 3. Shot clock was running down. They call that a long 2. They say Boston's foot was on the line, so it's 90-89. Aaliyah Boston with 18. Thomas off to Held. Lexi Held back in the game for Phoenix. She gives it back to Alyssa Thomas at the foul line. Thomas now drives inside, draws a double team. Outside for an open 3. No basket. It's going to be a shot clock violation. Brochant didn't get that off in time. Turnover number 10 for Phoenix. Hines Allen with it, off to Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell, guarded by Bonner. Off now in the corner to Hines Allen. Hines Allen back to Mitchell. Mitchell looking for help, kicks it outside. 3-point shot is blocked. And back comes Phoenix, and it's going to be a fast break layup for Brochant to put the Mercury back in front, 91-90. Hines Allen brings it up the floor for the Fever, gives it off to Kelsey Mitchell. Now on the outside, Aaliyah Boston. Boston looking for help, gets it back to Hines Allen. Hines Allen launches, misses a 3, rebound to Juana Bonner. Mercury up 1 with the ball. as we near 5.5 to play in the fourth. Inside Ayayi. Foul line jumper. That's good. Alyssa Thomas with 18. 93-90 Phoenix. Phoenix back up near 60% shooting. Hines Allen with it on the outside. Hines Allen inside. That's a big basket for Indiana for Hines Allen. She's got 13. Lead back to 1 again. Just past the midway point of the fourth quarter. Alyssa Thomas from the foul line extended. She hits it. That's 20 for Thomas. 95-92. Mitchell for 3. Good. And this game is tied at 95. Kelsey Mitchell with 27 points tonight. That's her 6th three-pointer. A 3 at the other end is answered by Phoenix. Nomi Brochant with 12. She becomes the 5th Mercury player in double figures. And it is back and forth in this fourth quarter. 98-95 Phoenix. Timeout called with 4:22 to play. A doozy on this Wednesday night in the WNBA. Back and forth between the Lynx and the Mystics. The Lynx have taken a 1-point lead with 1:27 to go. Chicago's pulling away from Portland late third quarter. That's now 71-56. Here it is 98-95. Phoenix leading Indiana with 4:22 to go. "22 points for Kaylee Copper, 20 points for Alyssa Thomas. 27 for Kelsey Mitchell for Indiana. Both teams in the high 50s in shooting. But the Fever find themselves down by 3 with 4:22 remaining. So out of the timeout, which was taken by Indiana, so they're down to 1. And actually, this is going to be 98-96. It's only going to be a 2-point spread because the officials have gone back during the timeout and looked at that three-pointer, the shot by Aaliyah Boston that was called a long 2. They actually went back and looked at that, and her foot was behind the line, so she's going to get credit for 3 there. So it's 98-96, the correct score. Officials did the right thing there. Just play that out, and then at the timeout, you can go back and look at it and correct it. Mercury come out with okay, they're explaining I was going to say the officials was at the microphone there, but they're explaining that shot by Aaliyah Boston that was a three-pointer. So it's 98-96. Phoenix leading Indiana. And it will be Indiana ball on the inbound here. Neither team has had bigger than a 9-point lead tonight. Nate Tibbetts getting an explanation. So here we go. Kelsey Mitchell bringing the ball up for the Fever. Mitchell with it. Mitchell looking to drive, gets cut off, will send it back out. Mitchell finds Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham with a turnover. I think she expected somebody to be in the corner and no one was there. Fever turn it over for the 13th time. Ayayi brings it up for the Mercury. To Copper. Alyssa Thomas now on the outside. As we're under 4 minutes, Thomas drives, Thomas turns, Thomas hits. Alyssa Thomas with 22, tied for team high with Kaylee Copper. Phoenix by 4. Aaliyah Boston with it on the outside. Boston, nice pass inside, but a strip. Back-to-back turnovers by Indiana. And now what have we got? Timeout, Phoenix. Timeout called by Phoenix. They lead by 4 with 3:24 to go. Boy, the Fever out of that timeout with back-to-back turnovers. They now have 13 on the night, nearing their season average of 15 a game. That has been the one hit on this Fever team this year is the turnovers. They are amongst the tops in the WNBA in turnovers per game. And they've had a couple of ill-timed ones here in their last 2 possessions. Phoenix will have the ball out of the timeout, up 4. They have 2 timeouts remaining. The Fever have 1. Mercury ball out of the timeout. This is Alyssa Thomas. Finds Copper on the outside. 10 on the shot clock for Phoenix. Copper trying to drive. Now Will off the glass too hard. Rebound Indiana. They get a defensive stop that time. 3 minutes to go. Fever slowing it up here and running the offense. Boston. Off to Lexi Hull. Hull, bounce pass in the corner. Here's a 3. It's good. And it's down to a 1-point game. Oh, correction, long 2. Well, they're probably going to look at that one, too, at the next dead ball. 100, but right now it's a 2-point shot. 100-98. Here's a runner off the glass. No, but we have a foul. And Brochant will head to the line. Let's see here. Okay, no, that one's clearly a 2. They just showed the replay on that last shot, and it was clearly a 2-point shot. Raven Johnson with that Long two-pointer. They are at the monitor looking at it since we have a dead ball, but this is going to stand as a 2-point shot. (100-98), 2.5 to go. Another look at, you can clearly see the front of her toe touching that line. This is taking a little longer than I thought it would. It looked pretty clear on the replay. This is the third or fourth review we've had in this game tonight. So the score, and there is the official call that it is a 2-point basket. So 100-98. Phoenix leads it. 2.5 to go. Both teams basically getting a free timeout right there. That's probably a little better for Indiana because they only have one left. Fever coming out with Raven Johnson, Lexi Hull, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Sophie Cunningham. Phoenix on the floor has Bonner, Copper, Thomas, Brochant, and Ayayi on the floor. And it's going to be 2 free throws for Phoenix for Nomi Brochant. She's got 12 points tonight. First free throw is no good. One more coming. Second, no good. She missed them both. It stays 100-98. Fever can tie or take the lead. Mitchell. Raven Johnson with it. Bounce pass inside. And we've got a foul on Phoenix with 2:12 to go. Kaylee Copper, and Copper's down on the floor. Copper is still down for Phoenix. Her team and now the training staff coming out to look, see if what happened to Kaylee Copper here. Oh, she took an elbow from Aaliyah Boston. She took an elbow right in the face. See if the officials are going to go look at that one. And they are going to the monitor. This one... So the foul on the floor was a foul on Kaylee Copper. But now they are going to the monitor to check that elbow that she received, to see if there's going to be any kind of flagrant 1 foul given. She took a pretty good shot. with the elbow. But we will see if the officials deem it was a basketball play or if this is going to be a flagrant 1 foul. It's not going to be a flagrant 2. There was nothing there that warranted a flagrant 2 out of that, but we will see what the official ruling is here. It was about as we're back under the monitor for a review. The defensive foul was called on Kaylee Copper, but she took an elbow from Aaliyah Boston right in I said the face. It was actually in the neck area, right in the Adam's apple area. She took a pretty good shot. This would not surprise me if this is called a flagrant 1 foul on Aaliyah Boston. I'm not sure they're going to call that a basketball play, but we're going to see. Aaliyah Boston's trying to plead her case on the sideline. Now the 3 officials are talking amongst themselves again. Had a lot of reviews tonight. Angelica Suffren, Gina Cross, and Teresa Stuck, the officiating crew. They're still discussing amongst themselves. All right, here's the call. So the defensive foul on Copper stands. I don't think there was any question that was going to be the case. And they have given Aaliyah Boston a flagrant 1 foul, which I had a feeling that was going to be the outcome. It was not deemed a basketball play. Aaliyah Boston, though, trying to plead her case to one of the officials, but that's not going to do a bit of good. So the defensive foul on Copper, that's her 3rd. And the flagrant 1 foul against Aaliyah Boston, that's going to be her 5th. So Copper will be at the line to shoot the 2 flagrant foul free throws. First is good. This to push the lead to 4. And got it. Copper hits 2. She's got 24 tonight. Leads the way now for Phoenix, and Phoenix will have the ball. Inside, Ayaye with the shot, no good, but she's fouled. And now Ayaye will head to the line. Foul is on Kelsey Mitchell. That's her 5th. So Boston and Mitchell, both 5 fouls apiece for the Fever. First free throw's good. Second is good. Valeriana Ayaye, 18 points tonight off the bench. The Phoenix lead is 6 with 2 minutes to play. Lexi Hull for 3. No. Offensive rebound, Boston. Fever with a second chance. Hull on the drive. Layup good. 104-100. Fever need a defensive stop more than ever right now. And now on the drive. Layup good. Again, an open lane underneath for Phoenix. And Alyssa Thomas had the wide open layup. Back to a 6-point lead. 3-point on the way. Good. It's 106-103. Minute and a half to go. 30 points now for Kelsey Mitchell. That's her 7th 3 of the night. Ayayi. Fever going to play straight up here. 10 on the shot clock. On the drive. Kicks it out. Borchant for 3. Short. Rebound, Indiana. Still over a minute. You don't need to force a 3 here. You can get a quick 2. Here's Hull. Down the drive. Great feed inside. It's a 1-point game. 106-105. Tyrese Halliburton in the stands liking what he's seeing. 56.9 to go. Timeout. That was a great feed from Johnson to the cutting Aaliyah Boston. 1-point game, 56.9 to go. This one is going down to the wire tonight. Timeout was called by Phoenix, so both teams have 1 remaining. Alyssa Thomas and Kaylee Copper tied for team high on Phoenix with 24 points tonight. Kelsey Mitchell for the Fever with 30. It'll be Phoenix ball out of the timeout. I'm not sure. I'm not sure either team's made a substitution the entire fourth quarter. I think they've had this lineup out there the full quarter. This is a foul on the inbound that's going to go against Kelsey Mitchell, I believe, and she just fouled out if that's on Mitchell. Nope, they're going to get Raven Johnson. That'll be her 3rd. So a foul on the inbound means 1 shot and the ball. Free throw is good. (107-105), and Phoenix will have the ball. Inbound to Copper. Copper drives. Layup good. Kaylee Copper with 27. Phoenix back up 4, 109-105. Mitchell. Now on the drive. A shot off the glass. No good. Blocking foul is called. Boston couldn't get the shot to go, but she will have 2 free throws. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Slow on crazy game is right. Boston at the line. First is good. Back to a 1-possession game. Still 36 seconds left. Indiana can play a straight-up defensive possession, but they're going to have to get a stop. Second is good. 109-107. Mercury will use their one. It's not really a timeout. It's just where you can bring it up to half court. You could do that once a game, and Mercury just used it. Fever playing straight up defense here. Here's this one. Thomas, she traveled. Yes, she did. Alyssa Thomas travels and turns it over with 25 seconds. Yeah, clearly. And the Fever get it with 25 seconds. So the Fever a chance to tie it or go ahead. Going to be 25 seconds on the clock. Fever just used their last timeout. A fun one here tonight. Neither team has had a double-digit lead in this game. Folks, if you don't mind, I'm gonna hide the line score here because it is ahead of where I am. So I'm gonna hide the line score. It's 109-107. This built-in delay on YouTube TV, I'm always about a play or two behind what the line score shows. So I usually do this. If it's a close game late, I'll usually hide that. Fever out of timeouts. Down 2. Cunningham to inbound at half court. Cunningham gets it in. And this is going to be an offensive foul. That's a push-off. Kelsey Mitchell pushed off, and Kelsey Mitchell has just fouled out. Oh, yeah. See. So Mitchell fouls out with 30 points. Shot clock is off, and the Mercury get it in and an immediate foul. Stephanie White getting an explanation. Valerianne Ayayi at the line for 2 free throws. This can make it a 2-possession game if she hits them both. Didn't see who that was that came in for Mitchell. Free throw's no good. So this is going to be a 1-possession game regardless. Trying to push the lead to 3. She does. 110-107. 21 seconds. Fever inbound. You can still get a quick 2 here. You don't need a 3. And here's the drive. Outside. Now Boston. Boston finds Johnson. Here's Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham on the drive. Layup good with 6.2. 110-109. And the immediate foul given by Cunningham with 5.5 seconds. So again, even if Phoenix hits both of these, it's still a one-possession game. Now the talk is going to be, if you go up 3, if you're Phoenix, do you foul? So Kaylee Copper at the line. First free throw is good. She's got one more coming. Indiana's out of timeouts. Second free throw. Missed it. Fever with 5 seconds, and Fever turn it over, and Phoenix is going to win the game. 111-109. The Fever had a last chance, but turned the ball over, and the Phoenix Mercury win it. 111-109 to split the 2 games in Indianapolis. Wow. Fever got the break. With that missed free throw on the second one, but they turn it over, driving down the court, trying to get the game-winning shot, and Phoenix wins it. Mercury did not lead a lot in this game, but they led when it counted at the final buzzer. And they improved to 6-13 on the season, and the Fever dropped to 10-8. Final stats in this game: Phoenix ends up 39 of 66 from the floor for 59%. 7 of 20 from three-point range at 35%. They end 26 of 33 at the free throw line for 79%. They had a couple late misses at the line that nearly cost them. Fever end 59% from the floor, 39 of 66. Both teams shot exactly the same shooting percentage, 39 of 66. Fever were 13 of 27 from three-point range at 48%. 18 of 19 at the free throw line for 95%. Rebounds all tied at 26 in this game. But again, the turnovers, the Fever, they're amongst the tops in the WNBA in turnovers per game at a little over 15. They had 16 tonight, including that one at the end of the game that cost them a chance to tie it or possibly win it. Phoenix turned it over 10 times. Mercury were led by Kaylee Copper's 28 points. 24 out of Alyssa Thomas. 19 off the bench for Valeriana Yayi. 13 out of Dewana Bonner, and 12 out of Nomi Brochant. 5 in double figures for Phoenix tonight. 9 points for Lexi Held and 6 points for Marta Suarez. Fever were led by Kelsey Mitchell's 30 points before she fouled out late in the game. 23 out of Aaliyah Boston. 19 points out of Caitlin Clark, but she missed that fourth quarter with the back injury. 13 points off the bench for Maisha Hines-Allen. 9 points out of Lexi Hull. 8 out of Monique Billings. 5 points from Sophie Cunningham. And 2 points from Raven Johnson to round out the scoring for the Fever tonight, as Phoenix wins it 111-109. Phoenix 6-13 on the season. Indiana drops to 10-8. Fun one tonight. That's going to wrap it up here on the live stream. Again, my name is John, Sportsmananza John on YouTube. If you do like my content, really would appreciate a like and subscribe from you. Also on Kick at Sports Kick John. You can follow me there. I'll be back throughout the weekend with more live streams. Don't know what they're going to be yet, but you just have to tune in and find out. It'll be a surprise. But we'll be with you throughout the rest of the weekend, on the weekend, for some more live streams. Appreciate you joining me tonight again. Phoenix wins it 111-109, and I will talk to you again down the road. Good night, everybody.